And I stopped it for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you want to go live again. It's a really beautiful day today.
Yes, it is.
Not a cloud in the sky.
No, you're right. I'm going to keep my picture off today because my
That's fine.
I'm running slow, so I don't slow anything down.
Okay. I'm just getting ready here for all this yummy chili yumminess. Let me see who we have here. So we have Camille and Phoebe and Tara. Okay. Ayana, are we live on Facebook yet?
Oh, you want me to? I thought you were. Nope. Let me do this. I can't do it. You if you started it, can't you restart it? So you have to make me the host, Erin.
Okay. Sorry about that.
I misunderstood.
Yes, I'm going to take off my video for a moment. Okay, we're back again.
We're almost out of Mercury retrograde. Okay, I am now going to move on to Facebook Live.
Thank you.
Feel free to talk to your
for your patience. It's great to see you back. So we can start. Healthy Black families and roots are committed to creating health equity in East Oakland through programs. Check.
Still, that's why I let you know my computer was moving slow. It is doing its thing. Let people know what you're doing today. So what's our recipe today?
We are making chili today. We're making two different types of chili. I'm making chili with ground beef and one with grillers.
Grillers. Those bring back memories.
Yes.
I didn't even know they still made them. They still make grillers? This recipe is by Stephen Curry's wife, Steph Curry's wife.
Yeah, I'll tell the whole thing when we start.
Okay.
And a woman with a knife, dangerous. Okay.
Still working. It's moving that slow.
Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead and start for the people who are on.
Fine.
So Healthy Black Families and Roots are committed to health equity through education and food resources. We have 4 programs. There is the pop-up market, which is put on hold right now. But the 3 other programs that we have are the Healthy Market Hunt, which we go into the store or I share with you in the space. I just did a Healthy Market Hunt that I'll share with you on through email at Gazelli's, and that's where I bought my products. Also have the Healthy Living webinar and cooking demo, which is this is the cooking webinar, and I'm going to start by just kind of telling you what's in the ingredients. We have a small red onion, a red bell pepper, garlic, a can of kidney beans, a can of pinto beans, ground beef or some sort of ground meat alternative, which you could use turkey, ground turkey, or you can use Beyond Beef, anything that's a replacement for beef. There's chili powder, oregano, cumin, maple syrup, which is interesting in here. She's using maple syrup instead of sugar, just to get the bite out of it just a little bit, a teaspoon, I think it's a tablespoon of maple syrup. So I'm going to go ahead and start. So how I started.
It is frozen right now. Letting you.
How I started before the meeting is I started with cooking the ground beef, breaking it up into little pieces, and then draining the oil from the meat. I had when I went shopping at Gazelli's, they had 2 different types of ground beef. They had a lean ground beef, and they had a regular ground beef. And the interesting thing about that is that the lean ground beef is much cheaper. Not much cheaper. It was about 50 cents a pound cheaper. I'm sorry, the regular ground beef is about 50 cents a pound cheaper, but then when you cook it, it cooks all the oil cooks out of it, and so it's probably ends up being the same amount as the lean ground beef. So in general, I would choose the lean ground beef. One of the reasons why I'm doing green ground beef, because I realize that people do eat ground beef. Some people don't, and some people do, but I want everybody to have a chance for this. Okay, so cook the ground beef. left a little bit of oil in there, then cooked the grillers down. And this is an interesting thing. This is what I used. This is a Morningstar Farms veggie griller crumbles. Now, when I went to the store to Gazelle's, they had Morningstar. And when I looked at the ingredients for this are water, soy flour, corn oil, yeast extract, cooked oil, onion, and carrot juice concentrate. Well, when I look at the package at Gazelle's, it had egg whites in it. And I think that Morningstar Farms stopped using egg whites maybe 2 years ago. So I didn't buy the grillers there because one, they had egg whites in it, and if you're going to be vegetarian, you might as well, some people eat eggs, but might as well not have eggs in it. But also because I knew that if it still had eggs on it, it's a package there that's been there for quite a while. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is thinly slice the green onions and the red onions, which I have already done. See here, for the meat, I'm gonna put half of these in here so you can see. Oh, and one of the reasons why I wanted to do 2 meals like this, which I just kind of cross-contaminated, but I'll just do this. But if you're a vegetarian and maybe your family's not a vegetarian, your partner's not a vegetarian, there's always meals that you can make, and you make everything the same except just replace the meat. So now with the onions, they're starting to cook. With the onions, I didn't need to put oil in the ground beef pan because it already had oils in there. But for the grillers, I'm going to put a little olive oil, just a little bit, and then I'm going to put these in. So for my family, I just touched that a little bit, and I tried to make sure that the end piece of it that touched, I used something else. But when you're cooking 2 meals, and one's for vegetarians and one's for eating meat, you want to really make sure that they're separate. Okay, and then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put the, I'm just gonna use my hands, guys. We're gonna use the red bell pepper. We're gonna put that in. My grandchildren, whenever they see a red bell pepper, they say, "Oh, isn't that hot, Grandma?" And I'm like, "No, it's not hot. It's really sweet." And so it's a really good thing to add to chilies, to beans, to anything when you just want a little more sweetness. And I just wanted to share a little bit how to cut a bell pepper. Some people don't know. What I do is I just cut off the end of it like that. And then you have these seeds, you pull them out. And then I just cut this a little bit, the white edges off. And one of my pet peeves is throwing away. Some people will just cut this off and throw it away. I want to make sure that I get every single drop of the red bell pepper. So while I'm cutting these up, so the star for today is beans. Beans have a lot of zinc. there was a study with diabetics, and they showed that eating one serving of beans a day lowered their blood sugar. High in zinc, and they're pretty inexpensive. Now, I chose for this meal, I chose to use, I'm going to turn down this. Turn this down a little bit. I had it a little high. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to get another spoon so we can do this separately. Okay. So you're just going to put them down. Really, onions don't need too many, too much oil, because they kind of cook in their own juices, and you want to cook them until they're kind of translucent. I'm cutting these, just cooking this down, and then the next thing that we're going to stir in is the garlic. So I'm going to put half of the garlic in here, half of the garlic in here. So earlier, Mama Ayana was saying, oh, this recipe is from Aisha Curry. Well, at Christmas time, the Currys have a program called Eat, Learn, Play, where they give children in Oakland, I think it was, I don't know how many it was at least a couple hundred kids through the Oakland Parks and Recreation, and they gave them this box, and it had books, and it also had a chili recipe with all the makings for it. And the idea with this, why it's called a weeknight chili recipe, see my little messy on my recipe. The reason why it's called a weeknight chili recipe is because we're using cans. Yeah, we're using cans of beans, so that you don't have to cook them. But definitely, one of the things that I do sometimes is I'll just cook beans with maybe a little salt, not a lot of flavoring. Then you put those in the freezer and put them in the freezer. It's just like having canned food. Okay, I'm cooking this down. And this is how it's starting to look. See that? That's translucent. Now we're going to add the chili powder. When I got this chili powder at Gazelli's, and just to let you know, it was like a treasure hunt. I still don't know where they were. It wasn't with the spices. It was hidden somewhere. But the person at Gazelli's was so nice, and he helped me out. So again, if you've been on this before, you know I don't really use teaspoons. I have my own idea of what the teaspoons are. So we're gonna put 3 tablespoons of chili powder. Seems like a lot. 3 tablespoons. I'm gonna put a little more oil in this, in the one that didn't have the oil. Then we're gonna cook it down a little bit. You guys smells so delicious, the chili powder. So the next thing I'm gonna put in there is a teaspoon of dried oregano. I have oregano in my garden, but I did buy a package of oregano because everybody doesn't have it. So it's a teaspoon, so I'm gonna put it about that much in there. And what I do with this, I take my hands and I just do this so that they're not big. A lot of people think that they have to buy spices that are already small and, you know, but this is, use this and definitely, if you can, get a plant of oregano and just put it on your front porch or in your window. It's kind of magic. Okay, a half a teaspoon of ground cumin. And there we go. Still cooking down. Look at, I can do it with 2 hands. I'm ambidextrous. Okay, so now this is smelling really, really, really good. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna put in is the maple syrup, which is a teaspoon. Again, I always use a lid as a teaspoon. Okay. And then the next spoon, a tablespoon of kosher salt. So what I use is Himalayan salt. A lot of times I just mix my herbs in with that, but right now we're just gonna put in it says a tablespoon. I'm gonna put in a little less than a tablespoon. Okay. And then again, it's better to cook with a little salt, a lot of spices, and then add salt after you've cooked everything. Okay, and then I'm gonna cook that for 1 minute. And then we're gonna add the beef, the beans, and the tomatoes, and a half a cup of water. So I'm going to add the beef to this.
Erin, let me know when you want me to put up the recipe.
Sorry?
You want me to put up the recipe?
Yes.
Yes. See it?
Okay, so now this is starting to look really good. I'm gonna turn down off the fire because I'm doing 2 things at one time right now, so I don't wanna but now we're gonna add the beans and the tomato sauce. I'm gonna add the tomato sauce before because there's something that I need to do with the beans. So again, these are crushed tomatoes. Okay, we had a little light thing. So we're gonna add this 15-ounce can of this big can of tomatoes. Crushed tomatoes for both of them. Okay, so now we're gonna add the beans. We're gonna add, it says the recipe calls for a 15-ounce can of pinto beans and a 15-ounce can of kidney beans. I I think I did it a little differently. So this is the kidney beans. What I wanted to say about the when you buy canned foods, is the, can you see my face? Ayana? Ayana? Hello? Okay. All right. So what I wanted to share with the can of beans is that there's this
Not
really
sure
thick. Hello?
Not
Ayana?
able to get on Facebook Live.
Are we still recording?
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right.
Can
We're
you
gonna
stop
take
for a moment?
the water off.
Let me see if I can get these recipes up. It's been shutting them down.
Okay, what we're gonna do is we're just going to fill this can up with water and rinse those beans. Kidney beans are really good for iron. Just use the can top to drain it. And we're gonna use these.
Hey, you guys, let me know if you can see this health benefits of kidney beans picture.
I'm sorry.
I was asking the participants, the attendees, can y'all see it? The picture?
Oops. I'm gonna put all this in the pot here. One of the things that, unless you're from it's interesting, if you're from Texas and you say you're making chili, they think that that's all meat. They don't think there's beans in chili. In order for there to be beans in the chili, you have to say it's chili with beans. Again, this is the pinto beans. I have to take the lid. Put them on. Okay, I'll put those in there. Now I am going to put these. These are the pinto beans. Again, earlier I was talking about low sodium. So these beans have 140 milligrams of sodium. These have 135 milligrams of sodium. So the reason why I wanted to buy two different types, one that said low sodium and one that did not say low sodium. Oh, I'm sorry. They are low sodium. So I was like, this one is less. Let me see, where's the can of beans that's not low sodium? Okay, so yes, the low sodium can of beans is 140 milligrams of sodium. The non low sodium is 390 milligrams. So I bought both of them just to let you see the difference, but low sodium is the way to go. Okay, again, we're rinsing this. Hopefully you guys can still see. Okay, now we're putting in a cup of water. I'm putting in a can of water. And oops. And there we go. So I'll let you see this. Can you see that? Can you take down the red kidney beans and see?
If we can see you. We haven't been able to see you, Erin, since I put up the red kidney beans. You were not coming up on my screen. Can anyone else see Erin? Could you just put a yes or no in the chat?
Can you see me now? Yes, you can. Okay, let's keep the rest of the red kidney beans down. This is what it looks like. I don't know if you guys heard, but this is the ground beef one. We're gonna turn that on and let it cook for about 30 more minutes. I'm gonna turn up the heat. Technically, I would cook it at a low heat for 40 minutes. Since we have a limited time. Since we have limited time, we're not going to do that. And technically, everything is cooked. So I wanted to show you. This is what the grillers look like. And also you can use the Beyond Beef, the Beyond Meat. I find it to be a little expensive. So if you're on a budget, this is good. And also making chili without meat at all is good. But sometimes you just want to have that kind of that taste, that hearty taste of chili. Okay, so can you open it up and ask if anyone has any questions?
I can. Okay, everyone. I'm going to put you on allowed to talk. You are now.
Well, just one person at a time, or you have to put everyone on?
No, I wouldn't know who. I'm allowing them to talk, so they'll unmute themselves when they want to talk.
Oh, okay. All right.
Camille is unmuted, so I believe Camille wants to say something. Hi, Camille. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi.
Camille.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good.
I was asking in the chat. I wanted to know if the chili is spicy and if children can have it.
It's not spicy. It does have chili powder in it, which has a little bit of a little spice, but just like black pepper does. But my grandchildren love this chili, and so it's not hot at all.
And then for people who wanted to kick it up a notch, what would you suggest?
Well, for me personally, when I do it, I will add cayenne pepper or even jalapenos or even habaneros if you want to go, really up a notch. And if you are gonna add fresh peppers like jalapenos or habaneros, then you want to add those when you're sauteing the red bell pepper and the onion. Do you have another question, or is that good?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming to see this. Hopefully you'll make this dish. I'm really waiting for people to send me pictures of their dishes so I can add them. Okay, I'm gonna clean this off real quick. And I also wanted to just talk a little bit about like kitchen safety and stuff. And like when you're in a family and some people are vegetarians and some people are not, you don't want to cross-contaminate things. So what we do at our house is one side of I don't know if you can see it here, there's a little sign right here. But anyway, one side is for vegetables, the other side is for meat. So that's how I do it, because I found that if I just said, if I had two different cutting boards, one for meat and one for vegetables, it just somehow the meat cutting board always ended up the vegetable cutting board always ended up being used for meat. So I just decided to do this where it's two sides. So right now what we're gonna do is we're letting that cook a little bit, but the last part of it is the garnishing. And I wanted to talk a little bit about cheese. Fun, cheese. So when I was a kid, we always bought blocks of cheese and we grated them, right? Now, the younger people that I know, I never see them buying cheese and grating it. I always see them buying it in a little bag. But the truth is that it's a lot more expensive to buy it that way. And even sometimes in boxes and stuff, you'll get the big box of big thing of cheese. So it's really not that big of a deal to grate. And everybody should have a grater in their house, because you not only can use it for cheese, you can use it for garlic, you can use it for ginger, anything that you want to get really small. So what I'm gonna do now, we're gonna put the chili in. A bowl. Again, we're gonna cook this for about 35 minutes, and at the end of the 35 minutes, the liquid will have cooked way down. But right now, I'm just gonna take some without the liquid. Just put it in there. Anyway, this is really easy. I mean, it was a little more difficult for me to do it because I'm doing two different dishes, but in general, it's really easy. So the next thing that we're gonna do is just, we grated a little bit of cheese. Put that on there. And by the way, Camille, kids love cheese and chili. They on fries, on, you can put it on rice. There's so many things. And like this chili I'm making, I'll definitely do some meal prep and put it in maybe 4 different containers for me, so I can just put them in the freezer and open it up. And anyway, putting cheese on top, little bit of green onion. Some people like sour cream, but voila, there we go. And even though it's not quite cooked down, this is the meatless one. It's very yummy still already. It just needs to cook down a little bit more. And we are done. Again, I wanted to remind everybody that through this, we're trying to make a commitment to drinking less sugary sweetened beverages, drinking more water. You know, it's water is such an amazing thing. And I don't know if anybody has ever gone to another country or something, and you really start to realize that, you know, in the Bay Area, we can actually turn on our faucet and drink the water from there. A lot of places you cannot do that because it's not healthy, and we won't even get into the politics or the of unhealthy water. But yes, let's drink water and drink less sugary sweetened beverages or none at all. Thank you.
Erin,
Yes.
I have a quick question. You were saying something about canned beans and then you glitched a little bit. So can you repeat what you were saying?
Oh yeah, I was citing about canned beans and then I think I got cut off. What I said was I was using canned beans because they're really convenient. And, you know, if you have a family, you want to this is a really quick prep with canned beans. But what I do sometimes is I'll just get bag of beans, I'll soak them, I'll cook them with a little bit of salt, and then I'll put them in different, small freezable containers, and I'll put those in the freezer, and that'll be my canned beans. The thing about cans is, I don't want to be too negative about cans because they definitely have their place, but they do have they're definitely not as healthy as fresh beans. But sometimes when you're a parent or you're working, you know, convenience is much more important. And definitely these are healthier than going out and eating at a fast food restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who just asked that question.
Kamika.
Kamika, okay. I thought it sounded like your voice, but I wasn't quite sure. Do you cook chili ever for your family?
I do. I cook it a lot, but canned beans I've never used in my life unless I was out somewhere and they used them. And so I just wanted to hear your thoughts on canned beans.
Yeah, you know, I don't necessarily use canned beans for reasons. But I think that if you have organic, low sodium beans, you know, there's just different levels, right? There's different levels of what you do. If using canned beans is going to mean that you cook at home rather than go to McDonald's, then use canned beans.
Right. My sister-in-law, she made a chili with canned beans, you know, and she didn't soak them or anything like that, but it was still really, really good. So
Yeah,
she kind of made me a believer, kind of. But yours looks delicious too. So I might that might be a last resort. I can purchase some canned beans, and I like that you said they're organic. That makes sense. I feel
Yeah. And the
good.
thing about it is that we've had, you know, the last couple of years, we've had fires, we've had rolling blackouts. You know, we've had a lot of, at least at my house, we've had blackouts where we don't, you know, just randomly in the middle of the day. So those are kinds of things that I think canned beans are good for. You know, so if you need the food right now.
Right.
And then definitely everyone should have like a survival little pack with a five gallon. I have a 5-gallon container of water and some cans of beans and some cans of, you know, there's rice, having rice in there. So, and you know, there's another thing with the beans. There's a company online called Thrive, and they use most of their things are organic, and they have a pinto bean that comes in a flat package, like you know, like tuna or something that comes in, and I like that as well, because the main thing that we worry about with cans is the coating inside the can. Not trying to end it on a bad note, but so yeah, is there any other questions or?
There's a question. Camille asked that already. Never mind. How can you find the recipe online?
I'll just send it to you. I'll send it to you with the thing. This was an interesting. I cooked. We got this recipe in the book when my grandchildren got these things from Aisha Curry, and so I said, "Oh, this was a great recipe. It was really easy." And so then I went online to download it. It was healthy, you know. I went down online to download it, and there isn't anything online. So I guess it's you know, it's special that we got it. But I definitely will send you the recipe.
Also, I think that's in her magazine, because I got her magazine that looks like a recipe that's in the magazine for those who actually might want a hard copy. I think it's I think it's the one when I think it's her latest one, or maybe the one.
Oh, okay. Because this
month.
one was
or maybe it was something similar, but she definitely had some chili recipes in her magazine.
Well, she has a chili recipe. The one chili recipe that she had that the reason I didn't download that was because it was for chili and for an alcoholic drink. So I just didn't think it was appropriate to give y'all a recipe for chili and margaritas or something. But what we can have is water and lime, which is going to make me feel much better than tequila. So are we, all the questions have been answered? Ayana, do you want to pull up the sugary sweetened beverage pledge? I'm wondering how people, if you want to just put it in the chat, if you find yourself drinking more water and drinking less sugary sweetened beverages. Okay, I think we lost Ayana. I don't know if anyone can hear me. Ayana has been kicked out of Zoom. I can't hear or see anyone.
Yeah,
So,
I can hear and see you.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to everyone, and let's close it out. We can do the sugary beverage pledge next time. We just want to make sure that we're drinking more water. There is someone. Anyway, we're drinking more water and drinking less sugary sweetened beverages. Thank you. You guys have a great week, okay?